There are so many veggies that you can grow in June. You still have all the options, or almost all the options, and I will show you everything that you can sow, plant, or start indoors right now. You should definitely start zucchinis right now, even if you already planted them in May. And the reason for that is mildew. Almost every cucumber or zucchini plant gets mildew during the course of the growing season. But if you start another one later in the year, maybe in the middle of June or in the beginning of June, that you direct sow in your garden or start indoors and plant outside if it's big enough, then you have another younger, more vital plant in the end of the growing season. And this makes such a difference. When the mildew hits, it will go after your older plant first, and the other one will still be producing. And since I have one of these in my garden right now, I will start a yellow one right now, because then we have not only a younger plant but also a little bit more color variety in our harvest basket. The next one is really great for everybody who is a little bit impatient. It's radishes. They grow so fast. Something that I definitely sow in June are carrots. I have two different varieties here. This is my favorite one for June. It's called Milan, and it's a storage variety, so I will grow them out really big and store them in our root cellar, but you can still harvest them fresh for fresh eating if you want to. These are my recommendations. I will put them down here so you can look for them. This one is called Trenetaler. It's a German variety because I'm from Germany, which is similar to a zone, I guess, 7 in the US. And it's also pretty similar to gardening in England if you want to compare it to your location. The next one might be something that not too many of you know. It's Swiss chard. We are growing them in different colors. We also grow this beautiful mix of different colors. There's also pink in there and white, and it's so beautiful in your garden beds. And for those of you that have never grown it, it grows like weeds. It's so easy to grow, so please start this. If you like spinach, you can cook the leaves just like spinach leaves. I also like to ferment the stems. They're so delicious fermented. Yeah, it's just one of the easiest crops you can grow in your veggie garden, so start them! June is a little bit too late to start onions from seed, but you can still purchase like onion plants from the nursery, or you can start these from seed. These are spring onions. There's plenty of time left and I love them for cooking. They're just the best. Let's continue with some herbs. There are a lot of herbs that you can start right now. What is this called in English? You probably know. Parsley. It's called parsley. You can direct sow these or plant them if you have little seedlings, and you can also start dill right now. I need a lot of it for my cucumber pickling in the summer, so I am definitely starting some dill in my garden beds right now. You gotta hurry a little bit for the next one. This is corn, a sweet corn variety that I love, and I'm also growing corn for bread baking, making pancakes or tortillas, and I'm also growing this variety right here. It's called Magic Manna, and also a variety that is called Cascade Ruby Gold. Both of these are great for bread baking and pancakes and stuff, and they're both from a really cool breeder. She's called Carol Deppy, and I read all of her books, and I think she's an idol to me. Next are beans. You can start runner beans or bush beans right now. This is a runner bean that is so beautiful. It has these purple beans. We also have a bush variety in my garden over there, also with purple beans on them, and they're so pretty. Unfortunately, they turn green once you cook them, but I don't know, I just love colorful things in my garden. Here I have a giant kale. It's so beautiful. I have cauliflower and I have cabbage, and I will start all of these indoors in little pots because from my experience have found that they come up stronger if I start them indoors and transplant them outside. And it also saves me space in the garden because I can grow some lettuce over there and harvest it and start these indoors, and once the lettuce is done I can replace it with the seedlings that I started indoors. Oh, this one is nice. It's like chive, but it tastes like garlic. I already planted it in May, but you can still sow these up until August, and they are perennial, so they will grow back every year. And it's so great to have this on hand for cooking. Something a lot of kids and some adults also don't like is beets, but I actually love them. They taste so sweet and earthy, and this is a really pretty one. It's striped. If you cut it, it's so spectacular. If you make a salad out of these slices, I don't know, I just love it so much. Have you started your arugula yet? Because if you haven't, what are you waiting for? I mean, arugula is so nice on pizza. Next are 3 salads that are a little bit special. The first one is chicory. You can totally start this right now. And what you're doing if you're growing chicory is you start your plants in your bed, and in the autumn you will dig your entire plant and store the roots without the leaves in newspaper in your basement. And then you can plant them in just a pot with potting mix and put another pot on top of it so it's dark, and then they will grow the little chicory heads. It's a really fun thing to do in the wintertime when you're missing gardening outside. By the way, it's so nice to make a salad from chicory, avocado, and apples. Wow, it's so tasty. Here I have another special salad. It's from Asia. It's a mix that is really colorful, and all of them, they have a really strong sort of hot flavor, and I love putting them in a normal green salad because it spices things up, and they grow really fast and they're so pretty. I don't grow a lot of it, but I always have a little corner with this Asian salad growing in it. And this is such a pretty salad that you can also eat like spinach, so you can also cook with this. The one in my garden bed, it's right behind you, is even more red than the one you see on the packaging right here. I love this. It has a really mild flavor. I think a lot of you might like this one. And it's nice to have a little bit of variety when it comes to lettuce. You can still sow pumpkins in the beginning of June. I have these saved from my garden. This is a Hokkaido and this one is called sweet dumpling. This is so great for stuffed pumpkin. I love this one. They are really small, like this big, and it's a perfect serving for a family of 3 or 4. And if you're more people, then you just put another one in the oven. I always grow this one, and I also grow a butternut squash every year. But you need to hurry up with the squash. In the end of June it might be too late. Sometimes I am neglecting the flowers in my garden, but not this year. I already started so many sunflowers, also giant sunflowers, and this beautiful variety. It's called La Torre, and also calendula. I have another candidate from the cabbage family that I am starting indoors. It's broccoli. We cannot have enough broccoli in our lives. We actually really love it. I prefer, as I told you, growing them inside and planting them out later, but you can totally direct sow them in June as well. I don't know about you, but I love pesto, and I make a lot of pesto every year, and therefore you need basil. So this is something you can sow or plant right now. I always plant it with my tomatoes, and yeah, I need lots of it. If you have gardened before, then you might know that if you only sow your seeds in, let's say, May and don't continue sowing for the rest of the year, then you have a really big harvest in the summertime. But after that, there's not much to harvest for you, and therefore you need to start your veggies in batches, so you have a bigger window where you can harvest them. And the same goes for peas. Start your peas right now, even if you have some in your garden already. And my sheep are crazy. I guess my boyfriend's coming home and all the animals are like, what's happening? Next Next are cucumbers. It's a little bit too late, at least where I live, to start them from seed right now. But if you have plants or can go to a nursery and get some, June is still a great time to plant them, either in your greenhouse or outdoors. These are both varieties that are great for outdoors. This one is called Tanja, and this is for pickling. It's called Vorgebirgstraube, also a German variety, and I love it so much. It's the best pickling cucumber in my opinion. And you definitely should be growing some fresh lettuce plants right now. This is a variety called Summertime, and you should look at the dates in the back of your package, because they tell you when you can sow or plant them, and this one is only good for planting right now. You shouldn't be starting it from seed, but there are other varieties that you can direct sow right now or start indoors. Lettuce is also one of these plants that I like to start indoors, because I feel like they are growing so much better in a controlled environment than if you try starting them outdoors, because you do not cover them with a lot of dirt, and therefore on a hot and dry day the dirt dries out so quickly and none of these will germinate. So it's an indoor starting plant for me. And the same goes for this one. This is a Brussels sprout. My favorite variety is called Edema. It would be too late to start these from seeds right now, so if you want to grow them, you need to get some plants from the nursery, or maybe you have started them already, then you can plant them outside right now if they are big enough. It's a really frost hardy plant that you can harvest all winter. My dog is going crazy too. The same goes for savoy. This is also a plant that you can harvest in the colder month. You need to start it right now, but you still have time to direct sow or start it indoors. You don't need to buy plants for this one in June. But this one, it's called kohlrabi. I know a lot of people that are from Germany don't know this plant, which shocks me because it's in every supermarket here. You need to get your hands on seedlings if you want to start it in June, because it would be too late to grow it from seed right now. You can also plant tomatoes right now if you haven't done so already, if you can get your hands on some, but it would be too late to start them from seed. The same goes for peppers and eggplants, and you can still start potatoes. If you want to know how to plant tomatoes in a way that can drastically increase your harvest, you can click right here. I will include a video. Follow me if you want to get a video like this every month. Then just go outside and make the world a little greener. Bye!